Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I'm back with a My Two Cents Nintendo/gaming video for this week, where I take a look at some of the stories this week that caught my attention and give you my thoughts and my opinions. For this week, it's for October 20th to the 26th. And for those who may or may not know, this week, The Outer Worlds just recently came out. I just recently picked up my copy, though I'm hoping to try the game out as well. I also have to get through, with Borderlands 3 and Code Vein, all that stuff, and a bunch of other games, so I have to have time to have all that stuff. But we do got a lot of stories. We do have about 7 stories to cover, ranging from fans not happy with WWE2K, I believe it's 2K19 or 2K20, I'm not 100% sure, I'll have to double check, to basically, oh no, it's 2K20, I have to fix that, to basically people not happy with Fallout 76, including this Fallout First subscription that has, well, let's see, become a train wreck, though. We also have, we also have a couple of Switch announcements, including we learned about Call of Juarez Gunslinger after the worst rumor of a game coming to Nintendo Switch is, well, coming to the Nintendo Switch. To one of the producers of Fatal Frame want to do like another entry and all that stuff. So we'll get into those stories, but before we do that, we'll do a quick rundown on the what I like to call the quick My 2 cent part. The first one we do want to talk about is the fact that apparently Ring Fit Adventure and the Switch version of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, or the Switcher as some like to call it, seem to have done pretty well for them. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, in the UK, I think Ring Fit Adventure entered in at number 3 this week, while it entered at number 1 in Japan, so definitely nice to see that one did well. Meanwhile, I think The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, I'll have to double check that, I think entered in at number 4 or number 5, so not bad, not bad. I'm curious to see where The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, especially the Switch version, how well that does once the NPD charts come out. So that will be very interesting to see what position that one is in. We also learned that Duke Nukem 3D 20th anniversary, it could be coming to the Nintendo Switch, which I mean, that's not bad. I mean, I played that one on the PS4 and the Vita. It's basically a throwback to the old Doom and Wolfenstein games back in the day and so forth. Although, last time I remember, I kept hearing there was a lawsuit being filed against Gearbox and Randy Pitchford over the use of the music in Duke Nukem 3D 20th anniversary. So, I don't know how that one's going to play out or anything like that. We also learned that Darksider Genesis is scheduled to be released on Valentine's Day next year, which for all platforms. However, Google Stadia and PC will be getting it first earlier this year. I mean later this, like I think in November. I'm not 100% sure, so I'll have to double check that. So great, nice that we finally have sort of a concrete release date, assuming nothing changes or anything like that. But obviously, for everyone, for PS4, Xbox One, Switch owners, we're going to have to wait a little bit while Stadia and PC owners get it first. And last but not least, it seems as though the whole situation with the Tokyo Mirage session, as we probably heard last week, how Nintendo Japan had to apologize for the fact that they showed the wrong version, to the fact that they understand how fans were upset about the fact that it's the Western version or the censored version. It would be offering a full refund. Now we're learning that apparently the uncensored version, the Japanese Wii U version, supposedly shot up at number 1 on Amazon in Japan. Whether, I don't know what that will mean for some people, but it does kind of give the impression that Nintendo and Aulx really screwed this one up big time, and I'm very curious to see how well Tokyo Mirage Session Encore does when it finally comes out in January. I will say, if it underperforms or bombs, some will say there's no audience. You'll probably hear it ranging from there isn't an audience there to perhaps they probably should have gone with the uncensored version, though. Alright, with that quick My 2 cent part out of the way, we'll get started with our first one, and this one has to do with WWE2K20. Now, ever since THQ went belly up before re-emerging as THQ Nordic, though, the WWE license has gone to 2K, and they have pretty much been handling the license for a while. Well, this week we saw the release, I believe, the release of WWE2K20, and well, it seems the version that they send out or is not sitting well with a lot of people, particularly WWE fans. In two different articles, though, and the first one from Newsweek, link will be in the description of this video. It reads that WWE2K20 players voiced displeasure of annual release with fixed WWE2K20. WWE2K20 is out now, but it seems fans who bought the game on day one have begun to notice some problems with the annual game. The WWE2K series has never been a masterstroke of video game development, as years past have seen their shares of bugs and glitches. But WWE2K20 has thus far endured a particularly heated launch that has many fans fuming. So much so that fixed WWE2K20 have begun trending on Twitter, and fans have compiled lists of bugs and missing features from this year's offering. The WWE2K20 team already confirmed that creating custom titles won't be in the game at launch and will be patched at a later date, but there seems to be more serious problems with the titles. Many players have noticed that some of the controls from 2K19 have unexpectedly changed, while the game's image uploader has seemingly stopped working entirely. And then they point out the graphical bugs and glitches. A massive 12.6 gigabyte update will be required on day one to hopefully fix some of these issues, but there may be a bigger crisis at hand for 2K games. Many are pointing to the fact that this year's game did not have the help of the studio Aulx, Y-U-K-E-S, which has developed these annual games since 2013. The studio confirmed back in August that it won't be a part of WWE 2K20, leaving Visual Concept to take over the game on its own. They said back when it was first reported by Video Game Chronicles that we thank Aulx for their years of partnership and are excellent to see Visual Concept team bring the franchise moving forward, 2K said in the statement to Polygon. Back in September, players of NBA 2K20 took to social media to voice their displeasure regarding the another 2K game annual release. Many players of that title cited glitches, the overabundance of microtransactions, and other similar problems. It appears the publisher has faltered the release of its two big annual releases. As for WWE 2K20's review, there are only a couple out right now, with Forbes emphasizing the gameplay as not fun and that 2K19 played better. Another one from Give Me Sports was more forgiving, as this person felt the remap controls make it easier to play, but more experienced players will need extra time to adjust. And it seems as though, at least if this article supposedly from a site called wrestling.inc.com is reporting that Sony is going to be granting refunds to WWE 2K20 buyers, and they're saying, quote, as noticed on Tuesday, which was WWE 2K20's launch day, most of the gamers who purchased the game are not happy. The fixed WWE 2K20 hashtag has been trending since Tuesday morning, as fans have been upset with everything from bad graphics to missing features, items being left out of their collector's edition, and hundreds of other issues. They issued their report, but it says that in an update, Sony has been granting refunds to PS4 users. There's no word on yet Microsoft doing the same for Xbox One users, but the topic on social media today is how the game really is that bad enough that Sony is giving refunds. There have been some users who have reported having their refunds requests denied, but it seems like Sony is granting the majority of requests. One user speculated it could come down to connecting with the right support specialist, and it shows several tweets from some people, some getting the refund and some are not. One person wrote, took a snapshot from PayPal saying Sony Interactive Entertainment Network America LLC refunded $97.98 for your purchase on October 20th, 2019. So apparently some people are getting refunds and some are not. Now, I'm not really a wrestling fan or anything like that. I may have gone into it when I was young, but eventually started growing out of it and all. So I'm not really that big of a wrestling fan at all. That said, having said all that, I think it is inexcusable for 2K to release a game in this quality and in this state. I mean, this falls into the criticism we've heard over the years of the whole ship it now, broken, and patch it later kind of attitude. This needs to stop. This cannot continue to go on. They should have delayed this game, excuse me, before shipping it out if they knew that it was not going to be ready, especially when they switched developers during like mid-development. In fact, based on what I've seen so far, including some of the videos I've seen of WWE2K20, this makes the WWE, I think, 2K18, the one that was released on the Switch that many people thought was poorly optimized, it makes that look like a freaking masterpiece, for crying out loud. I mean, wow, this is unacceptable. 2K, in my opinion, should be ashamed of themselves to launching a game in that kind of state and in that kind of condition. And I think going forward, people maybe need to rethink next time if they decide to buy another WWE 2K like 2K21 or anything like that. But overall, I have to say it is very disappointed and in my opinion, unacceptable for 2K games to release a game under those conditions right there. Very terrible, and I'm glad if what the other article is saying is true. I'm glad people, at least on those PS4 owners, at least are getting their refund after being felt that they got screwed over and all that stuff. I'm curious to see what Microsoft does, though. All honestly, though, in my opinion, even though I don't own an Xbox One or anything like that, I think Microsoft should follow Sony's suit, if this is true, and offer a refund for those who may have purchased the Xbox One version of WWE 2K20. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to part 2, and this one has to do with Fallout 76, and apparently Bethesda's decision to do a Fallout First subscription, which unfortunately is not going over well with everyone. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of our My 2 Cent video for this week. And for this one, we're going to be taking a look at Fallout 76, the game that just keeps on giving in one way or the other, though. Now, ever since last year when Bethesda launched Fallout 76, this game has been marred in controversies on so many levels, though. We've had the game launch in an unplayable state. Even some people believe it's still an unplayable state, although some people are claiming it's not, depending on your perspective. We had the whole canvas bag controversy where supposedly people who paid for the collector's edition that was supposed to get a canvas bag got a nylon bag, but that's the claim they couldn't have enough to make of it, even though we've now learned that some of those went to influencers and so forth. A law firm eventually stepped in until Bethesda caved and decided to say, yeah, we're going to give you the canvas bag, only to find out that some people's credit card information may have been leaked online. Not a great thing to begin with, though, and it's just been a problem after problem. Also, we had the situation with one of the Nuka-Cola helmets having been recalled due to the mold. Even though that may have nothing to do with Bethesda, it's still going to hurt them no matter what. Well, apparently it seems Bethesda is trying or doing anything they can to keep Fallout 76 afloat, at least that's how I'm looking at it, with their first attempt to try to do what's called Fallout First, which is supposedly a subscription service. In an article on GameSpot, which they also updated some of the issues, which I will get to that though. It reads, quote, Fallout 76 has launched a new premium subscription service called Fallout First, Bethesda has announced. The membership service is available to purchase now and includes access to private servers, which Bethesda calls private worlds, for you and your friends, exclusive items, and other bonuses, though. Private worlds have been one of the most requested features since Fallout 76 was released back in November 2018. Last week, Bethesda revealed that private servers will be coming to the game this week, but there was no indication that the feature would be locked behind a subscription paywall. You can purchase a Fallout First subscription for $12.99, $13, or €11.99 a month, or buy the full year at a 36% discount for $99.99 for $99.99, $100, or £99.99. It's a steep price to pay in order to play Fallout 76 privately, either alone or with friends. For comparison, an Xbox Game Pass subscription costs $10 a month, or £10 a month, and features both Fallout New Vegas and The Outer Worlds, along a myriad of other games. At least only the owners of a private server is required to be a Fallout First member. Bethesda has also said it's looking into incorporating mod support in private worlds. Aside from receiving access to private worlds, Fallout First members will also receive a monthly bonus of 1,650 atoms to spend in the Atomic Shop. There will also be an exclusive discount on items in the store, and members will gain access to their own private scrap box too, letting you store all your crafting components in a separate place to the limited stash box. Meanwhile, the new Survivor tent will save you some caps by acting as a fast travel point. You can place them anywhere on the map, and a unique emote and the Ranger armor outfit gives you some more cosmetic items. It's worth pointing out that the so-called NPCs or Wastelander stuff that was supposed to come out this year has been delayed till next year. Well, not everyone was a big fan of this whole subscription service, and just when it launched, well, it was hit with some issues as well. According to an article from Kotaku, it reads, quote, Fallout 76 paid subscription service has not had a good launch. It reads, quote, part of Fallout 76 controversial new paid subscription service Fallout First is the addition of an unlimited scrap box, which is somewhere players can store all their junk. Problem being that some players are finding that the scrap box is bugged in the worst possible way. They're losing everything they put into it. There have been multiple reports over the past day, both on Reddit and on the game support forum, of paid subscribers putting loads of scrap into the box going on with their game, accessing the box to get some of it back and finding it was all gone. While Bethesda investigates this, they currently believe it's an interface issue. Current support advice to try opening another player's scrap box on a public server, which may help in getting the items to show up again. And if that doesn't work, they're suggesting restarting the game's client or uninstalling and reinstalling the game. The bottomless scrap-eating scrap box isn't the only busted part of Fallout First either. The launch of private servers, which was meant to be one of the server's main draw, but they're not quite as private as many were hoping for. Instead of being completely walled off invite-only servers, if you start a Fallout 76 private server, anyone on your friends list can just walk right on into it. For people who have done a lot of trading, friending someone only to swap some gear, that's not an idea. A Bethesda rep told Polygon, "We understand this is not what players expected for their private worlds," adding, "We are looking to provide an option in an upcoming patch that will allow Fallout First members to restrict access to their servers more completely." This has been a major train wreck for Bethesda. I mean, it seems that any decision they have made to try to fix Fallout 76 has become a complete and utter disaster. I mean, the fact that it stayed off the news for the most of the year was probably the only good thing, considering Anthem was stealing some of the spotlight, not to mention Activision Blizzard and the whole Hong Kong China situation. But now I cannot believe how Bethesda's just handling the situation, and it worries me a little bit, especially with with the upcoming release of games like Doom Eternal, I'm very worried about that game, considering the way Bethesda has handled Fallout 76, not to mention their push towards live services or monetization or recurring user spending. I'm worried about Doom Eternal and what kind of shenanigans Bethesda might pull on that one, maybe forcing microtransactions or anything like that. I also worried about, especially with the possibility when they do eventually decide to bring out Fallout 5 or the next Elder Scrolls, because I'll tell you, if the Outer Worlds does well, if that game does well, I believe it will, but we'll have to wait and see, especially where it ranks in the NPD charts. But if that game does well, that is going to put, I think it's going to put pressure on Bethesda, because they're really going to have to hit it out of the ballpark with Fallout 5 and the next Elder Scrolls series. I mean, Fallout 76 has been an embarrassment to them, and it has really exposed them a lot, especially with all the bugs and glitches. It may have been funny and all that stuff back then, but in a post Fallout 76 world, it's not funny anymore, and it seems that people are starting to lose patience. I mean, just like what we saw with Anthem as well, which unfortunately has forced BioWare to scrap the roadmap entirely and focus on simply just fixing the game, for crying out loud. I mean, this is bad. This is really bad, and I'm losing some confidence with Bethesda, and it does worry me a bit. So overall, this is another train wreck for Fallout 76, and it does make me worry about a lot of their future releases coming up as well. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to get to part 3, and this one has to do with the not-so-surprising announcement of Juarez Gunslinger coming to the Nintendo Switch. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 3 of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at the not-so-surprising announcement of Juarez Gunslinger, now officially announced coming to the Nintendo Switch. Now, earlier this year, though, Techland was interviewed, and they talked mostly about their upcoming release of Dying Light 2, a sequel to their first game, Dying Light, which basically is sort of I think a spiritual successor to their Dead Island series, which, well, that series has kind of remained dormant, especially with Dead Island 2. No one knows about that situation. That has switched different developers and so forth. Well, during one of their interviews, though, Techland was asked if Dying Light 2 was going to be coming to the Nintendo Switch. And unfortunately, Techland's response was that the answer was going to be no, because the engine it was running on wouldn't be able to work on the Nintendo Switch. At least that's what they were saying, though. However, they did kind of basically say that that all wasn't lost, as they announced that they are bringing in a so-called AAA game to the Nintendo Switch that would be released by year's end. This led to speculations of exactly what game Techland was talking about, and a gaming site in Poland picked up, and they got, from what their sources was at the time, supposedly that Techland was pointing over Juarez Gunslinger, a game originally released on the PS3 and the 360, and we're bringing that over to the Nintendo Switch. But beyond that, nothing was really mentioned, and that rumor kind of remained dormant for a while until around, I think, somewhere around earlier this month, when apparently a rating on the ESRB rating board showed up that had the name Juarez Gunslinger on it. Many assumed that it was officially coming to the Nintendo Switch, and then, of course, before the official announcement trailer, there was a teaser that Techland put out that showed a cowboy playing the Nintendo Switch, citing all would be revealed on October 24th, which was obviously pretty much an indication that the game was coming to the Nintendo Switch. Well, they revealed the official trailer for the game and all that stuff, the announcement trailer, and now it's now been confirmed that Juarez Gunslinger is coming to the Nintendo Switch, being developed by Techland and published by Square Enix. In an article, called "Saving Content," it is revealed that the classic Western-themed first-person shooter called Juarez Gunslinger, originally released on the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and PC, is coming to Nintendo Switch on December 10th. Call Juarez Gunslinger for Nintendo Switch started out as an in-house fan project, but unexpectedly transformed into a new platform release, including custom Nintendo Switch upgrades like motion control and HD Rumble. One of the producers at Techland said, quote, "This is our homage to Wild West Tales, an epic and violent journey of a ruthless bounty hunter on the trail of the West's most notorious outlaws. Blurring the line between man and myth, this adventurer made of a memorable encounter unveiled the untold truth behind some of the great legends of the Old West. Our Call Juarez Gunslinger journey really took us places, and we all agree the game is perfect for the Nintendo Switch. It actually feels like the Switch was made for Call Juarez Gunslinger. Call Juarez Gunslinger lets you track down Wild West's most notorious gunslingers, Billy the Kid, Pat Garrett, Jesse James, while blazing through a trail through stunning landscapes of the Old West. Live an epic adventure as a ruthless bounty hunter, personalize your skills and master your weapon of choice to unleash lethal combat and become the best gunslinger the Wild West has ever seen. Call Juarez Gunslinger is coming digitally on the Nintendo Switch on December 10th, 2019, and will be published by Techland, although we've seen supposedly Square Enix is publishing this as well. Maybe this is a typo or something. It is also going to be available at participating retailers in the US and Canada, courtesy of Square Enix. Both versions will be released at the price of $19.99. So basically $20 though. So that's not bad, especially if they have the motion controls. Hopefully the motion controls are optional and HD Rumble. I'm hoping that this version has any like DLCs or any content from, basically it's a complete edition and so forth. So that's the good news. So what's the bad news? Well, while there's no official confirmation from Square Enix or Techland, if what I'm reading is correct, though, it seems you may want to rethink picking up the physical version. Going over to Amazon and Square Enix's store, they're showing, while the game will have a case, they're also showing that this is one of those, if you buy the physical version, you're only going to get a piece of paper with a download code. So you're not going to get, there's no cartridge or anything like that. In fact, the Square Enix store is basically saying, quote, "Warning, no physical cartridge inside the box. Includes a unique code printed on an insert package in the box, redeemable at the Nintendo eShop." And same thing is being said on Amazon as well when you look at the picture as well. So although nothing official has been made by Techland or Square Enix, it definitely sounds more than likely that this is going to be basically you're buying an empty box with just a piece of paper in it. And if that's true, then it's like, then what's the reason driving down to like your nearest GameStop or Best Buy or something like that just to buy a box with a piece of paper? If that's the case, then why not just make this a digital only title and just buy it through the Nintendo eShop? So, I mean, it's the same stunt Bethesda just pulled with Wolfenstein Youngblood for the Nintendo Switch. Why pick up the physical version if there's not going to be a cartridge in there when you could just download the game through the Nintendo eShop? So, yes, if this is true, and it's sounding more likely it is, then yes, it certainly is a disappointment to hear in regards to the physical version. That said, I'm very pleased that Techland is bringing this over, even though this wasn't the best kept secret, though. I'm hoping the game does well enough that maybe it will convince them to bring in maybe other entries of the Call Juarez series, though. I think there are several others, including the infamous Cartel one, although I heard not everyone liked that one. If they ever bring that over, maybe they can remake that one to be exact. So very nice that they're bringing this game over, and it's probably the closest thing we have right now, at least on the Nintendo Switch, in regards of, say, like a Red Dead Redemption game, which, I mean, honestly, I know it's unlikely Red Dead Redemption 2 will ever make its way over to the Nintendo Switch. It's not out of the realm of possibilities, but given the fact that that game had 2 discs, one, a data disc that you had to load in first, and then the game itself, I think it's unlikely. Personally, I think if Rockstar ever brings Red Dead Redemption over, I think the first Red Dead Redemption would probably be a better choice, bringing that game over with all of its DLCs and so forth. So I think that would be a better option as well, but who knows if that will ever happen. So overall, great that Call Juarez Gunslinger is coming to the Nintendo Switch. Hope it does well and we see other entries come over to Nintendo Switch as well. But very disappointed to hear that the physical version is basically an empty box with a piece of paper with the download code. Which, if that's true, and like I said, I believe it is, you might as well better off just buying the game from the Nintendo eShop, not driving down to your nearest retailer to spend money on a box with a piece of paper in it. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to part 4, and this one has to do with rumors of the possibility that not only could we actually finally see Diablo 4, but we could be seeing a remake of Diablo 2 as well. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 4 of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one, we're going to be talking about a rumor that is going around of what we could see at Blizzcon 2019, particularly the rumor pointing towards we could be seeing not only Diablo 4, but a remastered or remake version of Diablo 2 as well. Now, as some of you are aware of, last year was not a great year for BlizzCon, as one of the big announcements they had there was Diablo Immortal, a free-to-play game built for the mobile devices for like your ISO and Android. And well, let's just say that announcement did not sit well with everybody, though. The game, many people who attended it made some comments like the famous "Is this an out of season April Fool's joke?" When asked if this will come to other like PC or something like that, they said right now they had no plans this time, which got boos, and they made the infamous "What, you guys don't have any phones" or anything like that. It didn't sit very well at all, and this year has not been kind to Activision Blizzard, especially over the whole Hong Kong protest debacle that has really, well, put them in a bad spot with a lot of consumers. So bad that what happened a couple weeks ago, when originally the release of Overwatch coming to the Nintendo Switch, there was supposed to be an event at the Nintendo World Store in New York City, but 48 hours before the event was supposed to happen, it got canceled. Nintendo sent out a tweet basically saying Blizzard canceled the event, and many speculated because of the Hong Kong protests, they decided they did not want to deal with that kind of situation, and well, with BlizzCon coming up, that might be tough for them, though. But in any case, though, it seems as though if these rumors are true about Diablo and Diablo 2 Remake and Diablo 4, it's possible these could be the games we could be seeing at BlizzCon this year. And with the possibility that supposedly a Overwatch 2 could happen, though. In an article from GameSpot, it reads, quote, BlizzCon, the annual gaming convention held by World of Warcraft developer Blizzard Entertainment, kicks off next week on November 1st. The rumor mill has already begun swirling ahead of the event, with leaks and rumors pointing towards an upcoming announcement for a new game in both the Diablo and Overwatch series. An advertisement for the book called The Art of Diablo was recently published in the latest issue of German magazine GameStar. In advertising revealed that a Diablo 4 announcement might be on the horizon. The ad said that the book features over 500 artworks for Diablo, Diablo 2, and Diablo 3, and Diablo 4. A Diablo 4 reveal won't be too surprising considering Blizzard had previously said it had multiple Diablo projects in the work. The one we know about is Diablo Immortal, the upcoming mobile game. The Art of Diablo is currently available to pre-order on Amazon with a listing release date of November 3rd, the final day of this year's BlizzCon. The book is authored by Jake Gerli, Gerli, and features contribute from senior Blizzard writer Robert Brooks. Twitch streamer Metro said Diablo 4 and a remaster of Diablo 2 will be announced at BlizzCon. He also posted a series of tweets detailing the potential reveal of Overwatch 2. Normally, leaks and rumors spread around Twitter are to be taken with a grain of salt, but Metro has a track record of leaking Blizzard and Overwatch news after he revealed the new hero, Ashe, A-S-H-E. Apologize for not saying her name correct. This person's name correctly. A week before the official announcement at last year's BlizzCon, though. Metro said his source is someone tied directly to a Blizzard developer and notes that Overwatch 2 will be revealed at this year's BlizzCon after a short cinematic feature heroes including Mei, Tracer, Wilson, and a younger Genkai. He added that the potential sequel will include PvE, players versus enemies, which that sounds nice though. That sounds nice because I'm not really big on the whole PvP thing. And PvP, and the new leveling system will change certain abilities for each heroes. For example, there will be an upgrade change to Tracer's Pulse Bomb that makes it so you will stick an opponent. All units close to the target that get stuck will also be stuck with the Pulse Bomb. A report earlier this year suggested that a StarCraft first-person shooter was in development at Blizzard, but it was canceled so that developers could focus its effort on Diablo 4 and Overwatch 2. We'll know more next week when Blizzard opens the door on November 1st. Blizzard will be hoping to shift its focus for its upcoming game after a controversial week that began when the company banned a Hearthstone pro player after he voted support for a pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong. The company partially rescinded his punishment to this person Blitzchung, as well as the punishment given to the American university students who protest in solidarity. This has done little to quell the controversy, however, especially since Blizzard is now reportedly banning users in its Twitch chats who express support for Hong Kong, although there's been some reports that they're also banning people who put out pro-China stuff. A protest is due to take place during the first day of BlizzCon. So, if this is true and they show off, say, Diablo 4 and this Diablo, supposedly a remake of Diablo 2, that certainly would be a good announcement. It certainly would be better than last year's debacle of a mess of Diablo Immortal. Not to mention Overwatch 2. I played the first one. It was like a demo and all. And again, I'm not big on the whole battle royale or multiplayer stuff. But this PvE, players versus enemies, might interest me to a certain degree. The one big question at least one question I have is, will these games come to the Nintendo Switch? I mean, after all, supposedly Diablo 3 did very well on the Nintendo Switch, so it does make you kind of wonder, will they port Diablo 4 over to the Nintendo Switch? A Diablo 2 remake, I could see that one coming to the Nintendo Switch. Don't know about Diablo 4. I'm hoping it comes to the Switch, but we'll have to wait and see. Same with Overwatch 2, if this PvE is actually true or anything like that. It would definitely make me a little bit more interested in picking up Overwatch 2. I hope that one comes to the Nintendo Switch as well. I think my big concern is that even if these announcements are true, there is the risk and the possibility that this can all be overshadowed with the Hong Kong protests and all that stuff. And there is that concern that someone in the audience will ask about this. And this will put Blizzard and Activision in a very difficult situation. Even if you think the question's unfair or not, it will definitely could put them in the bad spot, though. I mean, right now, they're not in a great position at this time. Not everyone is happy with the way they handled the situation. And in a way, to some degree, honestly, they deserved it because they shot themselves in the foot in this situation, all that stuff when you look at it, though. But it's going to put them in a very tough spot. Well, we won't know until BlizzCon happens on November 1st, and we won't know whether these games are, whether this rumor is true, and if it is true, when will we see them on, say, any other consoles, to be exact. Again, I'm hoping it comes to the Nintendo Switch, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. So, overall, very interesting rumor indeed. We'll find out at this year's BlizzCon when it starts November 1st to know for certain if these rumors turn out to be true or not. And we'll find out for certain if the whole Hong Kong protest overshadows BlizzCon this year. But this year Blizzard really needs to deliver. I mean, last year was a disaster, and the whole Hong Kong situation has really, I think, kind of hurt them a little bit. So they're going to have to hit it out of the ballpark this year in regards of BlizzCon 2019. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to part 5. And this one has to do with a comment made by one of the producers of the Fatal Frame series that is interested in doing another entry, particularly on the Nintendo Switch. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 5 of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one, we're going to be taking a look at a comment made by one of the producers at Koei Tecmo about bringing back the Fatal Frame series. Now, Fatal Frame series is basically a horror game and all that stuff. I didn't really try out this series until the one released in 2014. I think it was the one for the Wii U, though. This was available only via download for the Wii U at the time. No physical version as far as I'm aware of, which is kind of sad and all that stuff. But the series got its start on the PS2 with, I think, 2 games, Fatal Frame 1 and 2, there on the PlayStation 2 before making its way over to the Wii, but sadly none of the games saw the light of day here in the US. I believe in Europe, but not here, which was, I think, utterly ridiculous to begin with in the first place, though. Well, apparently it seems as though Koei Tecmo, or at least one of the producers, is basically interested in bringing the series back and would like to bring it over to the Nintendo Switch. In an article from Nintendo, let me get that. Okay, here we go. In an article from Nintendo Everything, it reads, quote, "The last entry in the Fatal Frame series was Fatal Frame Maiden of the Black Water. It originally debuted in Japan back in 2014 and would later find its way to the West a year later. While the franchise has been dormant for several years, series producer Kensu Kachu, again, I apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly, though. You can read the article's links in the description. Has expressed interest in bringing a new entry to the Switch. He currently has his hands full with the upcoming Fairy Tail RPG, which is coming to the Nintendo Switch as well, but told Nintendo Everything that he's open to revising Koei Tecmo's horror IP. He said, quote, "Yes, I do want to make a Fatal Frame on the Switch. I think it will be a ton of fun to play with the console in handheld mode and move it all around." He also highlighted another IP he's worked on before, Deception, and later noted that he always has a lot of ideas that he's coming up with. He's very happy that he's often asked about Fatal Frame as well. Fatal Frame originally started to appear on the Nintendo platform in 2008 with the Japanese exclusive Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse. It was another 4 years until Project 2 Wii Edition, which did release in English but only in Europe and Australia, and another 2 before Fatal Frame Maiden of the Black Water ended up on the Wii U. This is the longest stretch fans have gone without a new entry in the franchise. Personally, I would be open if they bring this series back to life, and if they bring it to the Nintendo Switch, that would be great. As far as, the holding the Switch and, turning to take the camera and all, that might be a neat idea, but I think if they do something like that, I think they should also make sure that they add an option where you can play the game with or without motion controls and be able to play it on your TV as well. So again, neat idea, but I would like to see an option where you can play it, the old-fashioned way and so forth. While I certainly would be open for a new entry, I would love for them if they could bring over maybe some of the past entries, maybe remake them and bring them to the Nintendo Switch as well, including some of the ones that were released in the Wii that never saw the light of day here in the US. I would love if they were to remake those and bring those over to the Nintendo Switch and finally have people be able to play the game that they missed out on, though. Of course, there was also one of the controversies with the game, and that had to do with some of the outfits, where when I think, what was that one called again? Let me double check that. Maiden of Blackwater, there were certain costumes that were, considered to be risque and raunchy, and Nintendo, which I believe published Maiden of the Blackwater, did not allow those costumes on the Western version or the US version, and changed the costume, instead having the character wear either the Princess Zelda outfit or the Samus Aran's outfit, which was okay and all that stuff, but some people thought it was kind of dumb for what Nintendo did and so forth, and yeah, I kind of agree to a certain extent. So I'm hoping that if series does get another shot, though, hopefully Nintendo will kind of ease up on certain areas. I mean, we recently heard about the whole Tokyo Mirage Session debacle, so we'll have to wait and see. But overall, I would be open to the idea of a new entry in the Fatal Frame series coming to the Nintendo Switch, and I also would be open if they were to remake, port or at least remake the other entries, though, including the ones that were released on the Wii but never saw the light of day here in the US, though. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to get to part 6. And this one has to do with, apparently, Suda51 is teaming up with someone and basically has announced a game that they are working on that's being published by Devolver Digital that will be coming to different devices, including the Nintendo Switch as well. So we'll take a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 6 of our My 2 Cent video, and for this one we're going to be talking about an announcement of a game with a collaboration with Suda51 and someone named Swery, Swery. Again, I apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly and all that stuff. Now, when it comes to Suda51 games, I am a fan of his games and so forth. The first one of Suda51's game I played was the original Killer 7, released on the Nintendo GameCube back in 2005. The game was weird on so many levels, but it was still enjoyable nevertheless, and the art style in the game looked really neat. It's one of many games that showed an example of how video games, to a certain degree, can be a art form and all that stuff. But what most people will remember of Suda51 is, of course, the No More Heroes series. Originally started off on the Nintendo Wii with both 1 and 2. 2, I believe, earlier this year we saw Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes, a sort of a indie take, or a smaller game though, that sort of acts between No More Heroes 2 to the upcoming release, and it was shown at Nintendo's E3 presentation, No More Heroes 3, and I'm definitely looking forward to that game as well. He also did other games others like, say, Killer is Dead, Let It Die, and of course Shadows of the Dam, or as I like to refer to it, and part of my language, a game where there's pretty much, a dick joke in every 5 seconds. I mean, seriously, you have a skeleton buddy named Johnson, and I'm pretty sure I'll probably be criticized for saying this though, for some out there, a gun called the Boner. Yeah, it's called that. But I would be open if they ever did a remake of that one, and a sequel would be nice as well. But in the meantime, it seems as though that Suda51 is teaming up with another developer to basically produce a game in the most interesting way. They announced it during a live stream on IGN Japan, though. In an article from GameSpot, it reads that Suda51 and Swery, Swery, are working together on an indie game, in an indie horror game called Hotel Barcelona, the most on-brand announcement you'll ever see. According to our article, it reads that IGN Japan just hosted a live stream for Travis Monday Nitro 2, which just appeared to be a way for the No More Hero creator Suda51 and Deadly Promotion Premontion, I apologize if I'm not saying the name correctly, creator Swery, Swery, to announce a collaboration together in the most casual and on-brand way imaginable. The pair of eccentric game developers revealed they've been meeting since 2018 to discuss working on a game together, but they always end up getting too drunk to remember what they say, so the live stream was a way for them to capture the video evidence of their discussions. Booze was still involved, and frankly, the whole thing was amazing. The game in question is a indie horror codenamed Hotel Barcelona, which Suda51 came up with half an hour before the stream began because he likes the game to take you to the Spanish city. He later backtracked though, saying Hotel Barcelona could take place in Tokyo, South Africa, or Venezuela. It's inspired by the 2004 horror game Siren, Siren, and Swery also mentioned David Lynch and season 3 of Twin Peaks as inspiration because they're about suspense, uncertainty, and nervousness. They want the game to be light and easy to play, with Nintendo Switch and mobile mentioned as a potential platform. Discussions have apparently taken place with publisher Devolver Digital 2, which is offering the pair of $1 million budget to make the game, although this is new to Devolver, although they could just be playing along with this as well. Obviously, Hotel Barcelona is in the early stage of development, considering the live stream is essentially a brainstorm session. It might be about a magazine writer visiting a hip new hotel, but the translator made it clear not to take this for the final word or on anything. The pair did place an emphasis on the timeline though, and how the game would be about a different room of the hotel. Each room represents a different person or a different dimension or a different look at what happened in this period of time. So we also treated that Juko Kaleo, Jukio known for his work on Mint, Nuclear Thorn, and Solicus, is interested in composing music for Hotel Barcelona. The whole stream is worth watching either way if you enjoy seeing two game developers get drunk, make jokes about bread, eat hot dogs with a chopstick. I don't know how that will pull. Don't know how that will play out, and pull out their phones to text and act Silent Hill and Siren creator Kichacho Tomara, Toyama. If you would like to work on a game with them, spoiler alert, he said yes. Now, I've seen some of the live stream and so forth, and while it looks interesting, unfortunately it's in Japanese, so unless they decide to add English subtitles in there, it's probably going to be hard for some people to understand what they're trying to say. But nevertheless, it does sound like this was an interesting live stream. On top of that, we also learned a little bit more information on some of No More Heroes 3, which revealed Destroy Man and Kimi Howell concept art. Though this was during the whole live stream when they were pulling this off. And this is from an article from Nintendo Everything, and it reads: Suda51 appeared during a live stream hosted by IGN Japan to announce a new horror project with Swery, Swery. That wasn't all though, as he also gave an update on No More Heroes 3. For today, reported, Suda51 had a couple of things to share on Kimi Howell, Howell, and Destroy Man in particular. Here's what he had to say. Kimi Howell is in the game. It was designed by one of the folks who worked on, I think, the art style for Bayonetta. After she graduated college, Kimi trained to defeat Travis. Concept art for Destroy Man was shown. 3 different designs. Destroy Man NPD is the mass product version of the character. Destroy Man NPD T is the true face version. And Final Destroy Man is the final form. Suda51 suggests that we may not see the final form version in No More Heroes 3, and that it may be reserved for No More Heroes 4 instead, which he isn't sure will happen or not. For me, fingers crossed that I hope that it does happen. Same voice actors are backed. Destroy Man was originally planned for Travis Strike again, but was cut because of lack of time and other factors. And finally, a new 5-minute trailer is in the works. Hopefully we'll hear more about that. So, it's very nice that we got not only a little bit more information of No More Heroes 3 and all that stuff, but I'm very curious about this indie project that they're working on called Hotel Barcelona. I'm very interested to see what kind of games it's going to be. Is it going to be an action game? Is it going to be a venture game? It's going to be kind of something like one of those like point and click kind adventure type of a game. So I'm a little bit curious to see what this one is all about. But it is very interesting that they're working together, and that supposedly, although Devolve Digital is saying this is new to us, it is nice that they are working with them, and I'm looking forward to see when this game comes out. I'm hoping it does come to the Nintendo Switch. I would really like to try this out on the Nintendo Switch, and I'm hoping that we get to see a physical version, to be exact. So overall, I'm looking forward to this new game that Suda51 and this other developer are working on. Hopefully we'll see some concept art soon, and hopefully we'll hear more information about it. Maybe we'll hear something next year at E3. Who knows, to be exact. And great that we're hearing more information about No More Heroes 3. Looking forward to when they finally reveal supposedly this 5-minute trailer. And I do hope No More Heroes 3 does well enough to hopefully we get to see No More Heroes 4 though. So, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. So overall, very interesting announcement from Suda51. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we're going to get to part 7, our last part, and this one has to do with the delay of one of Ubisoft's upcoming release of Gods and Monsters, and other delays as well. So we'll take a quick break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 7, our final part of our My 2 Cent video. And this one has to do with Gods and Monsters, one of the new IPs announced by Ubisoft during E3 this year that unfortunately, along with other games as well, has been hit with a delay. So one of the games, like I mentioned, mentioned at E3 2019 during Ubisoft's press conference was Gods and Monsters. This is a new game that was announced to be developed by the creators of Assassin's Creed Odysseys. One of, let's just say, Ubisoft's one of the better Assassin's Creed games out there. Not the best, but certainly one of the betters, along with Assassin's Creed Origin and all. But after they showed off the reveal trailer, there wasn't much information or any new gameplay or anything like that, other than hearing that it's going to be sort of like a Zelda-like approach, which to me I certainly wasn't against. But without showing any new gameplay and all that stuff, it did kind of wonder if they would hit basically the February 25th launch date for that game. Not to mention, many people were kind of worried about the whole, microtransactions, the whole push Ubisoft had with games as a service, to especially how Starling Battle of Atlas was handled, and how the whole Toys for Life and all that situation, how the game underperformed and sold badly despite the Switch version being the version that sold better than the other versions, and they discontinued the whole Toys for Life, which honestly I think was a bad choice to begin with. Well, it seems as though this game, along with other games like Watch Dogs Legions and all, unfortunately has been hit with a delay, and this mostly has to do with the underperformance of The Division 2 and Ghost Recon Breakpoint. In an article from Nintendo Life, it reads that, quote, an Ubisoft press release detailing the company's financial target and release schedule for 2019-2020 suggests that its multi-platform open-world adventure game Gods and Monsters has been pushed back into the next financial year. Originally announced for release on February 25th, 2020, as the official website still indicates, the wording in the report describes the initial financial target for fiscal 2020 to 21, state that the decision has been taken to increase development time for Gods and Monsters, as well as non-Switch games like Watch Dogs Legions and Rainbow Six Quarantine. These games will all now be released in fiscal 2020 to 2021, according to the report. The timing isn't more specific than that, but it seems that the launch has been bumped back by at least a couple of months, potentially more. According to the document, the disappointing performance of Ghost Recon Breakpoint has caused the company to reevaluate its approach and lineup for the coming years. One of the reasons for the game's underperformance, noticed by Ubisoft's co-founder, is that Breakpoint did not come with enough different factors which prevent the game from its intrinsic qualities from standing out, or maybe the fact that the game didn't launch properly, or the fact that the microtransactions may have turned some people off, including one that eventually Ubisoft had to take out and all that stuff that claimed that it was a bug or glitch. The CEO made a comment saying, quote, we are tackling these issues head on and already are implementing significant change to our production process. We are confident in our capability to adapt and evolve as we have done successfully many times in the past. In this overall content, we have decided to postpone the release of Gods and Monsters, Rainbow Six Quarantine, and Watch Dogs Legions until 2020 to 2021. While each of these games already have a strong identity and high potential, we want our team to have more development time to ensure that their retrospect innovations are perfectly implemented so as to deliver optimal experience for players. A general fatigue with Ubisoft open worlds led to Assassin's Creed franchise taking a welcome break from its annual outing and come back stronger with the ever 2017 Assassin's Creed Origins. From the sound of things, a similar MALAISE might be affecting other games in the company's roster. Ultimately, we're happy to wait until the game's ready. There's hardly a shortage of stuff to play on the Switch, but there will certainly be people disappointed to see the game getting delayed. We'll keep you posted when more concrete release date details emerge. So it appears as though obviously Ghost Recon Breakpoint may have put Ubisoft in an interesting spot with this. From what I understand, like they said, the game did not perform very well. I think there could be many factors. I think some of it is perhaps the microtransactions basically turned people off. Perhaps the game launched in a very poor state, or perhaps maybe the fact that people are getting sick and tired of games as a service and feel that not everyone has the luxury to stay at home and log into a game almost every single day and so forth. And while I think it's great that they're delaying some of these games to try to iron out some areas to make sure it works, there are concerns that this could be maybe another excuse to put in microtransactions and so forth. I am a little disappointed to see God and Monsters delayed because I thought that game looked kind of interesting. But given Ubisoft and the directions they were going with, I have my concerns and all that stuff. So I'm hoping the delay will give the developers time to implement and maybe make some changes and make the game stand out, though. And hopefully the other games will probably stand out. Hopefully those games stand out as well. But I think maybe pushing to making all their games open world or live service is probably not probably wasn't the smartest strategy for Ubisoft. I mean, not that I get against open world games, but there comes a point when Ubisoft's open world approach kind of gets a little bit tiresome for some people. Not as much as me. I don't have a huge problem with the whole climbing to the top to unlock everything. I mean, they did that with Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and I did not really have huge issues with that or anything like that. But I understand that it's tiresome for some people, and let's be honest, not every game requires that in any way. So, overall, a little disappointed that Gods and Monsters, one of the games I was kind of looking forward to seeing, was delayed, but I think it probably is better that it does get delayed, so maybe they can iron out some areas to make sure it works. I'm hope even with the Switch version as well, though. Hopefully Ghost Recon Breakpoint taught them a lesson or something like that. I doubt it, but we'll have to wait and see. So a little disappointed that game got delayed, and of course those who were waiting for Watch Dogs Legions, I'm sure some of those people may have been disappointed, but I think hopefully in the end the delay was well worth it and so forth. So we'll have to wait and see, and I'm hoping we see hopefully we see some actual gameplay of Gods and Monsters at some point though, because if they were aiming for a February 25th release date and they didn't show any more gameplay and all that stuff, that to me that kind of is a worry sign indeed. So hopefully we see more soon, and hopefully the delay is worth it. Okay, this concludes my 2 cent video for this week. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about the whole WWE2K20 kind of situation? Do you think 2K really screwed this up big time though? Are you pleased to hear about supposedly Sony offering refunds for those who may have purchased the PS4 version and all? What do you think about the whole situation with this Fallout First for Fallout 76? Do you think this was a bad idea? Do you agree that Bethesda really botched this up? And do you think if the Outer Worlds does very well, do you think that will put pressure on Bethesda to really hit it out of the ballpark with Fallout 5 and the next Elder Scrolls in any way? What are your thoughts about Juarez Gunslinger coming to the Nintendo Switch? Are you pleased with this announcement? Are you looking forward to this game coming to the Nintendo Switch? And are you disappointed to hear that the physical version is not going to have a cartridge? Instead, it'll just be a piece of paper with a download code in it? What are your thoughts about the rumors of Diablo 4 being shown at BlizzCon this year, along with a remake of Diablo 2 and possibly Overwatch 2? Are you pleased with this announcement? Do you think this will make up from last year's Diablo Immortal debacle? Or do you think the Hong Kong protests could overshadow BlizzCon this year? What are your thoughts about the comment of Fatal Frame, possibly the producer wanting to do another entry in the Switch series? Would you be looking forward to that, seeing another entry into the Nintendo Switch? Do you think they should remake past entries and bring those over to the Nintendo Switch as well? What are your thoughts about this during this live stream, this collaboration Suda51's doing for this game called Hotel Barcelona? Does this game interest you in any way? Is it something you're looking forward to seeing? Would you like to see this? Do you think this should come to the Nintendo Switch and mobile devices? Do you think it should come to other platforms as well? And what are your thoughts about Gods and Monsters and other Ubisoft games being delayed due to the poor performance of Ghost Recon Breakpoint? Do you think this was the right decision that Ubisoft did? Do you think this will give the developers more time to iron out some areas and make the game work better? Are you still concerned about this game? And do you think the disappointing sales for Ghost Recon Breakpoint, do you think that may have taught Ubisoft a lesson in any way? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off on the comment section below. Let me know what you think, and I hope you hit that like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. hopefully that will be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!